The ultimate Grand Theft Auto Iceberg? Let's go. Official artwork. This refers to the official artwork used as cover art and also as loading screens for pretty much all of Grand Theft Auto since GTA 3. Absolutely iconic, and people who haven't even touched these games could probably recognize a lot of them. It's a very unique art style that really stands out. Aliens. Aliens have had a presence in Grand Theft Auto since way back in the original 1997 game. But until Grand Theft Auto 5, they were only ever mentioned and never seen. In the 1997 GTA, a contact of the Vercodi family mentions stolen intel about aliens. In San Andreas, they are mentioned over an intercom in the mission Black Project. And in both DLCs for GTA 4, homeless pedestrians can be heard rambling about aliens. In Grand Theft Auto 5, we actually get to see them in many forms. In North Yankton, there is a frozen alien under the bridge. Actors can be seen wearing alien costumes during the Franklin and Lamar prologue, and also smoking pot as Michael will lead to seeing aliens in a hallucination. And multiple UFOs can be found around the map, most of them only visible after achieving 100% completion. So it seems like with every GTA game, we get just a little bit more aliens with each one. Mount Gordo Ghost. This entry refers to Jolene Cranley Evans, a woman murdered by her husband, Jock Cranley, around 1978. Jolene was murdered by her husband due to troubles with their marriage that held Jock back from pursuing his dream career as a stuntman. 35 years later, Jolene's ghost can be seen every night on Mount Gordo, between 11 p.m. and midnight. And if you look carefully, you'll see Jock's name written in blood on the rock blower, a reminder of her cruel fate and who was responsible. Dark Viper AU. Dark Viper AU is an Australian content creator who is well known for his speedrun attempts and challenge runs of GTA 5. As of this current instance, he sits roughly around 1.7 million subs on YouTube and nearly 800,000 subs on Twitch. But if you're not really in the GTA scene, you might know him mainly for his controversy with Critical. In February of 2022, Dark Viper AU published a document titled How the React Grift Works, criticizing reactors for exploiting the less fortunate, in which Critical did a response video disagreeing with the essay. And they would go back and forth like your very typical YouTube beef, and nothing would ever really come of this. Before we continue, I do have to thank my beautiful Patreons. We got Brian Hahn, Person, Fat Lucky Potato, Icy Storm, B-Rad the Man, Giovanni Diaz, Mayall, Jedi Smackdown, Ford, Ty Mulan, and Henry Heiberg. Patreons get access to videos early and my special Discord chat where they can make fun of me and call me mean names whenever they want. If you want to join the Patreon, link is right down there below. Back to the video. Mount Chiliad Mystery. This entry refers to the mystery surrounding Mount Chiliad from GTA 5, which is pretty complex, but some of it is detailed through a series of cryptic drawings found scattered atop the mountain. The most obvious drawing is in the tram station at the peak, which most notably depicts a UFO, a cracking egg, jetpack, and the all-seeing eye at the top. These mostly relate to important missions in Grand Theft Auto Online, which we eventually got with DLCs. But it is important to note that the observation deck has a message stating, "Come back when your story is complete," which refers to 100% completion in the campaign, in which you can return to the mountain and find a UFO flying in the sky if it's a stormy night. Now there are still a million different mysteries and secrets that people have with Mount Chiliad, and for the most part I do think majority of it is solved, but that will never stop the GTA community from coming up with some pretty insane conspiracies surrounding Mount Chiliad. The Times Come. This entry refers to one of the non-canon endings of GTA 5, in which Franklin kills Michael. This ending is by far one of the saddest, as Franklin's betrayal comes at a high point in Michael's life. And in the aftermath of his death, Franklin is left to deal with the consequences of his betrayal, as many of his mutual contacts with Michael shun him.
Man, I don't know what I did to deserve this motherfucking life. Got my kids back, my wife, job that I love. I mean, I made it. We made it. You and me, bro. What?
Swing Set of Death. This is one of my favorite glitches in all of GTA history. In GTA 4, there was a very notorious glitch in which the player can send their vehicle flying upon driving into a swing set. And by flying, I mean flying. That thing goes far. Epsilon program. Have you ever heard an NPC in Grand Theft Auto say the word Kiflum? Chances are you stumbled across a member of the most notorious cult in the franchise. First mentioned by pedestrians and radio stations in Grand Theft Auto 4 and San Andreas, the Epsilon program can actually be found in Grand Theft Auto 5. The cult is made up of strange individuals, including a number of fictional celebrities, who seem eager to request large sums of money from new recruits. Michael from Grand Theft Auto 5 has the option to join the cult, but Franklin and Trevor do not. The deity of this religion is known as Kiflum, and all members are required to follow 12 tenets, which have been consistent throughout all of the games. Number 1. The world is consistently 157 years old every year. I have no idea how that works, but it's cult math. 2. Dinosaurs are a lie that people believed because they are weak. Alright, that one's pretty funny. Hey, you believe in dinosaurs? That's because you're weak as hell. 3. You are happy, you just don't know it. 4. We all come from the same tree. 5. Everyone is related to everyone else, except for people with red hair. 6. Sperm does not exist. It is a lie spread by biology teachers, along with everything else you have ever been told. 7. Men are supposed to lie with 9 new partners a week. Women are supposed to lie with 6, except for in July, when they must lie with 5 men a day. 8. Aliens exist and are present on Earth. If you have a birthmark, you may be descendant from Kraft, the famous emperor of the 4th paradigm. 9. Trees talk, but only some people hear them. 10. People who believe in something live much longer than atheists, and they have eternal life thrown in for good measure. 11. If you believe this and turn your hands and wallet over to Epsilonism, you'll live a happy life. Otherwise, you are doomed. 12. Kiflam. Happiness is yours, Kiflam. Alright, I'm sold. Where do I sign? A Revenger's Tragedy. A Revenger's Tragedy is the final mission of Grand Theft Auto 4. If the player chose to conduct a heroin deal between Jimmy Pegorino and Dmitry Raskolov, just before this mission, the deal goes bad, so Nico steals the money and escapes, which results in his cousin Roman being killed in retaliation on the day of his wedding. A Revenger's Tragedy is the mission in which Nico seeks revenge on Raskolov and kills him. Considering Nico and Roman were not only cousins but close friends, this ending is regarded by some as the worst ending you can get in the game. But hey, it might be worth it because you'll never be asked to go bowling ever again.
Come on, Nico, man, get out here, let's go. Come on. Wagwan, come on, let's go.
Roman never hurt anyone.
I know. Let's go, man. It's over. You what?
The Altruist Cult. Another cult found in GTA 5, this one consists mainly of old people who seek young people's blood, and they will pay Trevor 1,000 for each NPC he delivers to their camp. These NPCs are typically found on the side of the road, needing a ride to a certain location. After delivering a certain number of NPCs, Trevor will be taken into their camp at gunpoint, but he will be able to shoot his way out and practically destroy their little cult. You know your cult's not doing too well if one crazed lunatic can easily destroy it, but hey, what do I know about cults? Out of Commission. This is another ending for GTA 4 in which Nico chooses revenge over the heroin deal. In this ending, Nico kills Raskolov and Jimmy Pegorino ends up killing Kate McCreary in retaliation, and Kate was Nico's love interest. From here, Nico, Lil Jacob, and Roman hunt down and kill Pegorino.
You did it.
Really? I don't know. What did I do?
But we're done. Now we can start making money. Freely.
I suppose so.
We won, man. We won!
All of GTA 4, The Lost and Damned, and The Ballad of Gay Tony are connected. I believe this entry refers to the fact that GTA 4's main story, along with the two DLCs, The Lost and Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony, all happened around the same time, and thus these stories are intertwined. Other than that, I really couldn't figure out what this entry was really referring to. It seems pretty obvious to me. Get lost. The final mission of GTA 4, The Lost and Damned DLC, in which Johnny Klebitz kills Billy Gray before he can rat Johnny out and enter witness protection. The ending of this mission sees the lost Minecraft clubhouse destroyed and Johnny left to reminisce about the gang's glory days. Arab Money. This entry refers to a cutscene featuring the song Arab Money and the character Yusuf Amir in The Ballad of Gay Tony, which is seen by many as an iconic cutscene. The song was made by rapper Busta Rhymes, and it can also be found on the radio station Beat 102.7 in Grand Theft Auto episodes from Liberty City, and in Grand Theft Auto Online as part of the Chop Shop update.
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go bowling.
Let's Go Bowling was a message Nico Bellic would often receive from his cousin Roman in GTA 4. The community made it into a meme due to the message often appearing at awkward or downright terrible moments. But I mean, hey, who cares if I'm in a shootout with 3 dozen police officers or falling to my death from a helicopter? The boys are obviously more important, and you always gotta make some time to go bowling with them.
Hey man, it's me. Want to go bowling?
Okay, man, we go bowling. I come to get you in the next hour.
Okay, man. I will see you soon then.
Heart in the Statue of Happiness. If you acquire a helicopter in Grand Theft Auto 4 and make your way inside of the Statue of Happiness via an entrance at its feet, you'll be able to look inside and find a large beating heart chained up on the inside, which will have light shining around it at night. A real, just creepy Easter egg to think about, but also a very cool one to find if you're a keen explorer. Speedruns. Speedruns are pretty self-explanatory. People try to beat the game or a specific challenge faster than anybody else. Every game has this kind of community, but Grand Theft Auto 5 specifically seems to have a thriving community. There are a lot of really interesting and unique strategies to beat the game faster, and it seems like people are just constantly one-upping each other. Blimp Strat. This entry refers to a heavily memed speedrunning strategy in GTA 5, in which players start the mission Dead Man Walking by crashing a blimp into the Galileo Observatory. This was first started by Dark Viper AU back in 2019.
Davey, how you doing?
Stephen Ogg. A Canadian actor born in 1973, Stephen is the talent who plays Trevor Phillips from GTA 5. He's only well known for 2 other roles besides this, one which was a very minor role in Better Call Saul back in 2015, and a more prominent role as the secondary antagonist in The Walking Dead Season 6, 7, and 8. If you've seen the show, you'll instantly recognize him as Simon, Negan's right-hand man, and an absolute psychopath. Steven has gained a negative reputation amongst GTA 5 fans as he seemingly resents being known mainly for playing Trevor, and has distanced himself from the role over the past few years, which is a shame because his role as Trevor is absolutely iconic. Ned Luke. The actor for Michael from GTA 5. Born in Illinois in 1958, Ned Luke's early acting career consisted of primarily playing roles in crime dramas from the early 90s and onwards. He's been featured most notably in Law & Order and Diagnosis Murder. Unlike Steven, Ned Luke seems to embrace his role in Grand Theft Auto 5 and is somewhat involved with the community, occasionally uploading YouTube videos about the franchise and streaming gameplay. Sean Fontino. The actor for Franklin from GTA 5 Sean Fontino was born in the late 1960s in Los Angeles and spent a lot of his youth involved in various crime gangs before leaving and living an honest life. Sometime during the 1990s, he started a rapping career under the name Solo, which was likely his gateway into voice acting as Franklin during the development of GTA 5. Arguably, the most interesting thing about him is he knocked out Ice Cube and stole his chain in the 90s, which is pretty baller. 3-leaf clover. This refers to a mission from GTA 4 in which Nico, Michael, and McReary brothers, Packy and Derek, pull off a heist at the downtown Bank of Liberty. This mission results in the death of Michael and a payout of $250,000 for the player. The reason this is here is likely due to its reputation as one of the best, but also one of the hardest missions in the franchise. One-hit KO. This is a very popular challenge in which players try to beat the game without taking damage. That's it. Mr. Boss FTW. This refers to a once popular GTA YouTuber who fell into a rabbit hole of clickbait content, stealing others' videos and doxing haters, or people who killed him in online game mode. The funniest part about this entry is that Ned Luke himself roasted this guy for being a loser. If you're interested in hearing more about this specifically, YouTuber Jetro has a pretty entertaining video about his downfall, so if you like stuff like that, give it a watch. Lamar roast Franklin. Arguably one of the most well-known memes and just well-known scenes in the entirety of GTA, this entry refers to Franklin and Lamar's last conversation at the end of the mission, Franklin and Lamar. If you haven't seen this one, I'm sorry to say it, but you might have a yee-ass haircut.
What's up? Can a low come up in your crib?
Man, fuck you. I'll see you at work.
Oh, nigga, don't hate me because I'm beautiful, nigga. Maybe if you got rid of that old yee-ass haircut you got, you get some bitches on your dick. Oh, better yet, maybe Tanisha will call your dog ass if she ever stop fucking with that brain surgeon, the lawyer she fucking with.
Yellow license plate. This entry refers to a running joke that stemmed from the release of GTA 5 Expand and Enhance trailer back in 2021, which disappointed fans with the lack of content and upgrades over the previous releases of GTA 5. This specifically refers to the fact that there were yellow license plates added to the game, which is clearly the most innovative feature ever added to the Grand Theft Auto franchise, and we should all be grateful for it. Maybe one day we'll get more colors. Who knows? Cheat codes. Cheat codes have been in the Grand Theft Auto franchise since way back in the first game in 1997. Grand Theft Auto 3, however, is the first game that introduced them in their modern form. This was especially beneficial to players on console who were able to enter basic button combinations to get access to things like God mode, all the weapons, raise your wanted level, lower it, and cause pedestrians to riot. I mean, hell, who didn't buy that book about the gaming cheat codes from the Scholastic Book Fair back when they were younger? Because I know I sure as hell did. And of course, you would write all the Grand Theft Auto codes on a piece of paper, and you would just take that to your friend's house, and you would just be playing the game all night, entering codes for days. Giving yourselves all the weapons and raising your wanted level, and try to hold out with your friend in San Andreas, that's just a classic. Apartment 3C. Apartment 3C, found in Ocean Beach Vice City, seems like a normal apartment at first. But if you go inside the bathroom, you'll find bloodstained walls and a chainsaw, which will definitely be pointed to as the culprit. This display is actually a reference to the movie Scarface, in which Tony Montana and his colleague Angel enter an apartment with a practically identical interior, and a very gruesome scene plays out in the bathroom. That definitely isn't YouTube friendly. I mean, God, this scarred me as a kid. I don't know why on earth I was ever allowed to watch Scarface, but man, did that chainsaw scene mess me up. Ghost cars. In Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, if you go to the Back O Beyond in Flint County, you can find beaten down Glendales seemingly driving around with no driver. These are commonly referred to as ghost cars, but it's unlikely any ghosts are really driving them, as their movement is caused by the fact that they spawn on the side of a very steep hill, causing them to roll down and look like they're driving. Fans have taken this to the extreme over the years, however, and made claims of these cars chasing them down and becoming indestructible. And of course, rumors like that spread like wildfire back in the day. GTA 4 Beta. On September 3rd of 2014, GTA forum user Henry started a thread based around scrapped beta content for GTA 4. Over the course of the next decade, users would frequently contribute their findings, and this topic has its own wiki page on fandom, listing hundreds of cut features, textures, story elements, and so on. So if you are one of those people that loves older GTAs and has a fascination with cut content, this is definitely something you want to look into. Tom Goldberg. Tom Goldberg is a lawyer and a minor character in GTA 4. If the player pulls out a firearm but doesn't point it at Goldberg, Goldberg will say that guns don't kill people, video games do. A line inspired by real-life former lawyer Jack Thompson, known for his grudge towards violent video games, especially Grand Theft Auto. Thompson filed a complaint against Take-Two Interactive and threatened that he would take necessary and proper means to stop the release of the game if the persona of Tom Goldberg was not changed by the game's release. Nothing was changed, but Jack Thompson never did follow through. Z-Type. The Z-Type is a modernized Depression-era car that appears in GTA 5, GTA Online, and GTA 2. I couldn't find an exact reason for this entry, but it's likely either the fact that it is one of the only 11 vehicles that returned from the 2D era of GTA games, or the fact that it was basically removed from the online game mode in 2023, which rightfully upset quite a few players. I must say though, it is a pretty sweet ride and a nice option if you want to burn $10 million in GTA 5. Blue Hell. Blue Hell is the name given to the environment you'll find yourself in if you manage to get under the map. This is a bug you can find in most open world games, but the Grand Theft Auto community decided to come up with a nice name for it way back during the days of Grand Theft Auto 3. Point Live. Point Live is a Grand Theft Auto YouTuber who seemingly received criticism for stealing content and making clickbait videos. His content seemingly focuses on modding GTA 5 and doing experiments in the game. As of 2024, he is currently on the path to reaching 7 million subscribers. GTA 5 teased in Ballad of Gay Tony. The Ballad of Gay Tony is highly regarded for its many gameplay improvements and new additions, which seemingly laid the foundation for Grand Theft Auto 5's vast array of features and content. Out of the variety of new weapons and vehicles, quite a few were carried over to GTA 5. Some of the features, such as golf, parachutes, optional objectives for missions, and the ability to replay them, were also added in this DLC, which would become prominent features in GTA 5. Abigail Mathers. Abigail Mathers is a side character that can be found at Sonar Collections dock in Grand Theft Auto 5. She tasked Michael with collecting 30 pieces of a submarine to prove her husband is dead so she can collect an insurance payout. It quickly becomes quite obvious, however, that she was responsible for her husband's death, and after collecting a reward of $10 and a signed autograph, Michael has the option to kill her. I mean, if I spent all day scounging the ocean floor for a measly $10 and a piece of paper, I'd be a little PO'd. Black cell phones. In GTA 5, if the player uses their phone to dial 1-999-367-3767, it will connect the player to a caller known as black cell phones, which triggers an explosion right above the player's head, and changes the phone to have a black and gray theme. This is pretty much just a cheat code, and it can be done with any of the three protagonists. Despite it being confirmed, there are disputes about whether or not this is actually real, and I feel like that's pretty dumb because this is very easy to confirm. Meltdown. This entry could honestly be referring to three different things: a mission in GTA 4 in which Nico kills Lucas Silvestri, or a mission in Grand Theft Auto 5 in which Devin Weston sends Merryweather mercenaries to Michael's house to kill his family. Or it might be referring to the film which Michael helped Solomon Richards produce during the main story of GTA 5. It's likely the third option, which refers either to the fact that you can watch the whole film, or the light connections that it has to Liberty City and GTA 4. Alien in Ice. As mentioned back in Layer 1, in Grand Theft Auto 5 there is an alien found frozen in the ice in North Yankton under a bridge. What the little bastard is doing there, your guess is as good as mine. Roman's Holiday. Roman's Holiday is a mission in the Lost and Damned DLC for GTA 4, in which Johnny Klebitz is tasked with kidnapping Roman Bellic, and it ties in with the mission Hostile Negotiation from the main game. This entry could be referring to the fact that there is an alternate way to complete the mission, which is calling Roman's cab and having him come to your location.
Ladies! You have got yourselves the best limo driver in the whole of Liberty City. I'll take you through the bright lights of Star Junction, past the glamorous shops of Middle Park West. And if you're lucky, you might end the tour with a look at the finest specimen of manhood in the entire metropolitan area. Wait, where are the ladies? Who are you?
Get in the car, fat man. Your ass has just been snatched. Don't try nothing, chubby. It ain't like you're a difficult target to hit.
Help me!
Mods. This pretty much just refers to the modding community, most likely for GTA 5 specifically, but a lot of older games have somewhat active modding communities who pull off some pretty impressive features and are likely some of the main reasons a lot of these older games are still relevant today. The Infinity Killer. A strange serial killer in GTA 5 obsessed with both the number 8 and the infinity symbol. His real name is Merle Abrams, and by the time of GTA 5, he is long dead, but many clues can be found in his old burnt-down home in Sandy Shores. Upon visiting a small number of locations in the northern half of the map, more clues can be found regarding the Infinity Killer. But the darkest sight you can happen upon is 8 drowned corpses around the islands near Paleto Bay. By the book. This refers to a mission in GTA 5 in which Trevor is tasked with torturing an innocent man to extract intel on a target, Tahir Javan, who is suspected to be a terrorist. This order comes from antagonist Steve Haynes, and this mission as a whole was extremely controversial back in the day, for pretty obvious reasons, considering some of the things that you could do in this segment. I wouldn't blame you for looking away during most of this mission.
Not that! No!
Eddie Lowe. In Grand Theft Auto 4, you can come across a notorious serial killer named Eddie Lowe, with an incredibly deranged and dark past, who will end up attacking Nico before being killed in self-defense, but not before requesting Nico give him a ride around Liberty City to aid in his sick and twisted endeavors. Eddie is also mentioned in GTA 5 too, as a truck driver can be heard over the CB radio remarking that he shares the same name as the serial killer.
Eddie Lowe?
That's me.
Ain't you a serial killer?
Yeah, very funny. So what if we had the same name? You think I'd be driving a truck all day if I was a serial killer?
I thought all you truckers were serial killers.
Grand Theft Auto 5 Expanded and Enhanced Controversy. Back in 2020, GTA 5 Expanded and Enhanced was announced for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X consoles. As more details and footage released, fans were outraged by the lack of new content, lack of visual upgrades, and worst of all, the unjustifiable price tag. Big AAA companies doing big AAA company things, man. Tale as old as time. Bulletproof Patriot. The Bulletproof Patriot is a vehicle in Grand Theft Auto 3 sought after by many players, and only obtainable by completing the mission Marked Man. This mission has Cloud aiding Ray Mikowski in escaping Liberty City after he becomes a marked man. The Bulletproof Patriot is, if you can believe it, bulletproof. Shocker, I know, right? Which is quite valuable, especially in these older games that can sometimes be absolutely relentless. Zombie Elvis. Zombie Elvis is a funny, recurring Easter egg in the 3D GTA games, in which random newspapers found in the world contain headlines like Zombie Elvis being found. These are actually a reference to real-life reports of Elvis sightings after his death in 1977. But, weirdly enough, these newspapers don't appear in San Andreas, which is weird considering the game literally features the Grand Theft Auto version of Las Vegas. Like, if there's one place to do a zombie Elvis Easter egg, that's where you want it. Downtown Screams. In San Andreas, if you go to the northern downtown Los Santos area, near a set of beaches, you can hear some very horrifying screams after enough time has passed coming from below the ground. Most absurd theories about this location are pretty much thrown in the bin and are just, of course, complete nonsense. However, the real cause is the accidental placement of benches under the map, which causes pedestrians to spawn and immediately descend into blue hell, hence the screaming. Rooftop Rumble. A notorious mission from the early days of GTA Online, which was designed in a way that allowed players to complete it within 30 seconds and acquire $25,000 for each completion. This mission was patched multiple times and even straight up removed at one point due to players finding a way around Rockstar's attempts to nerf it. Eventually, all missions were adjusted to only pay out the maximum amount if you take longer than like 15 minutes to complete them, which has to be like one of the worst design choices that I've ever seen in a video game. Lasso. This refers to a weapon that was cut from GTA 5. The lasso would have most likely behaved similar to its Red Dead Redemption counterpart and would have allowed any of the three protagonists to lasso and hog-tie pedestrians and law enforcement. There isn't much else known about this, and no solid reasons as to why it was cut. But I can only imagine what some of the degenerate things that people on the internet would do with this, and I can see why Rockstar probably wouldn't want videos of certain things going up on the internet. The Shermuda Job. This refers to a heist cut from GTA 5, which would have had Michael and Trevor robbing the mansion of Martin Madroza. This would have allegedly taken place around the time of the mission Caída Libre, which you'll know for the infamous "but I did kidnap his wife" scene with Trevor.
I asked for a fair day's pay after a fair day's work. Then he kind of got a little angry, so I admit, I kind of got a little angry.
Did you kill him?
What kind of f***ing animal do you take me for? No, I didn't kill him.
Oh, fuck.
But I did kidnap his wife.
Oh, no. Oh, shit.
This heist would have tasked the player with stealing a safe, Martin's prized horse, and kidnapping Patricia Madrazo. There would have been three approaches to this heist, one being a night break-in, and the other two being infiltrating a party as clowns and mimes respectively. Some media related to the heist can still be found, and references to it still remain in GTA 5. And I gotta say, I'm kinda disappointed that this was not put in because infiltrating a party dressed as clowns and mimes sounds absolutely hilarious.
By the way, I know why you took me there, to that guy's house. Understood.
Understood what? That he's a terrifying psycho and that you might have that in common? What is it? We gotta work for him.
We don't gotta work for anyone, but I read you, man, loud and clear.
What are you talking about?
All that Aztec stuff. Those weird little artifacts.
What?
The little fertility statues, whatever. The guy has trouble getting it up. We'll clear 2-3 million on those, easy. Perverts will pay anything for hope.
We weren't casing the joint.
Killing UL Paper in GTA 5. Agent ULP, or United Liberty Paper, is a reoccurring character who is introduced in Grand Theft Auto 4 and is seemingly killed in Grand Theft Auto 5. Seemingly. He actually shows up in the online game mode, implying his death in the mission The Wrap-Up is non-canon. Agent 14 is Steve Haynes. This is a theory surrounding the character known as Agent 14 in GTA 5's online game mode. A lot of people speculate he is actually Steve Haynes, one of the primary antagonists of the game. But there is a lot of evidence out there that disproves this, such as the implications.
Because of the implication.
Such as the implications GTA Online occurs after the Death Wish ending of GTA 5, which means Steve Haynes would be long dead. Players have also pointed out it wouldn't make sense for Lester Crest to be in contact with Steve Haynes. But nevertheless, it's still a very interesting theory. Hidden weapons. This entry likely refers to a number of weapons hidden throughout GTA 5 that can be found in specific locations. Knowing the locations of some of these can make it easy to add them to your arsenal without paying some of the ridiculous prices from ammunition. Trevor is bisexual. Trevor being bisexual is pretty much canon. If you pay attention to some specific instances throughout the story and some of his dialogue, it becomes pretty obvious he swings both ways. When asked by Franklin during a friend hangout if he's gay or not, Trevor seemingly admits to being bisexual.
Bang bang, quick fire round! Who's got a question for Uncle T?
Where'd you bury the bodies, Trevor?
Oh, well, they're everywhere. Bang bang, Frank!
I guess I've been wondering, man. Are you gay?
No, yeah, whatever. Labels, bro. Bang bang. You want me to be gay?
Golden Tree. This refers to a specific tree found on the east side of GTA 5's map, which glows bright gold at night. There's no explanation for this, and many speculate it's just a glitch. Others believe it is some connection to the Mount Chiliad mystery. All 3D protagonist names on Roman's apartment. Upon arriving in Liberty City in GTA 4, Nico is invited to stay at the apartment of his cousin, Roman. And inside this apartment, you can find scribbles on the walls listing the names of each protagonist from the 3D GTA games. These include Claude, Remember Tommy, You Are Still My Hero, Carl, Rip Tony, and Victor Kopp, referring to the protagonist in GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Liberty City Stories, and Vice City. Parody of modern America. This one really makes sense if you play the games for even just a few hours. If you look around at all the billboards, listen to the radios and pedestrians, it becomes quite obvious the open worlds of most GTA games are designed to poke fun at American culture. GTA 5 specifically is notorious for making fun of the fame and glory obsession Los Angeles seems to have in real life. All games are movies. I believe this entry refers to a theory posted on Reddit that actually talks a lot about Rockstar's portfolio. The theory states that Manhunt is the quote-unquote real life of Rockstar universe, and in that universe, the Red Dead Redemption games are actually books, Bully is a TV show, and the Grand Theft Auto games are films. Although this theory kind of falls apart when you look into it and see Manhunt references in the 3D universe GTA games, so I'm not sure if it really has any merit, but it's still a cool theory nonetheless. Trevor's childhood. I think this is just referring to the fact that Trevor had a terrible childhood with abusive parents, constant relocation, and a bad habit of violent outburst. It wasn't long before Trevor took up a criminal lifestyle, but looking into his past, it becomes obvious not only did he have a terrible childhood, but he was always troubled from the very beginning. Base on Mountain. In GTA 5, located on the northern slope of Mount Chiliad is a face sprayed into the rock. The face bears a strong resemblance of Breaking Bad character Jesse Pinkman. Although it is unconfirmed if this is what it is referencing, some speculate it also might actually be one of the developers of the game. Laszlo Jones. Laszlo Jones is a recurring character that you newer players will likely recognize mainly from his physical appearances in GTA 5. But he actually has been a part of the series since Grand Theft Auto 3, where he was a radio host for Chatterbox FM. He would return in every game after 3, hosting a variety of different radio stations over the years. His character obviously got a slight rework once GTA went from the 3D era games to the HD era games, and I would place some pretty good money on it that he's going to make a comeback in GTA 6. Gas grenade. I believe this entry refers to the tear gas grenade, which is a non-lethal grenade that renders NPCs defenseless once exposed to the gas. In GTA Vice City, it's exclusive to the PlayStation 2 version of the game, and cannot be found on any other platform. As to why that is, your guess is as good as mine. Frank Tenpenny's Ghost. Frank Tenpenny is the primary antagonist of GTA San Andreas, who was responsible for framing CJ for murder and blackmailing him until he eventually meets his end, after crashing his fire truck in the heart of Grove Street. Many players know this iconic villain, but some of them claim to have seen his ghost after his ultimate demise, still haunting Grove Street, unable to move on after not only his defeat, but the defilement of his corpse after it was just left there laying on the road. The Jack Thompson controversy. Mentioned back in Lair 2, Jack Thompson is an infamous anti-video game lawyer who waged a legal war against Rockstar Games throughout the 2000s and early 2010s, due to his belief that GTA was encouraging children to be violent. He was portrayed as lawyer Tom Goldberg in GTA 4, but the specific controversy this is likely referring to is the disbarment of Thompson in 2008 for quote-unquote misconduct in one of his many legal battles against GTA. Fire Axe. The Fire Axe is a weapon cut from GTA 5 that is pretty much just your standard fire axe. Michael can be seen using it during the Bureau raid, however it is only used when the player isn't in control of him. 357 Colt Python. This refers to early concept art for GTA 5 in which Ron is seen holding a Colt Python. This artwork left a lot of people speculating whether or not the gun was actually supposed to be in the game and was just cut, or if it was never going to be in the game at all. Vanderland emails. As part of the GTA Online's Doomsday Heist update, a treasure hunt was added which would be initiated by the player receiving an email from vanderland@ifind.com. This treasure hunt would ultimately lead players to the golden double-action revolver. This whole thing was a promotion for Red Dead Redemption 2, which was set to release not long after, and featured Dutch Vanderland as a primary antagonist. Secret Conversations in Mr. Richards. During the GTA 5 mission Mr. Richards, two workers at the club can be heard talking about how Rocco Pelosi would burn down the club to collect the insurance money to benefit himself. This is a reference to how Rocco wanted to burn down Hercules and Mason at 9 to collect the insurance money during the events of The Ballad of Gay Tony from GTA 4. You always gotta love a good callback. Gym workout cut content. This one is pretty self-explanatory. In GTA 5, there were plans to have gyms and workout minigames just like in GTA San Andreas. But this was unfortunately cut from the game, along with a lot of other cool locations and interactions in the world. Pre-Millennium Radio. Continuing with the GTA 5 cut content theme, Pre-Millennium Radio was a cut 90s radio that leaned heavily into alternate rock and grunge. It's speculated that this station could have been based on the real-life radio station KROQ-FM that broadcast around LA, and it also plays alternate rock. Mad Carl. Mad Carl is another GTA YouTuber with kind of a poor reputation for clickbait and low quality content. Not really much else to say with this one, but if you're into all that kind of drama stuff, I implore you to look into it. Better than CJ. In the GTA 5 mission Derailed, Michael and Trevor pull off a train heist. One of the optional objectives is titled Better Than CJ, which requires the player to land on the train with a dirt bike in one attempt. The title of this mission is a reference to the notorious mission from San Andreas called Wrong Side of the Tracks, which sees CJ and Big Smoke also chasing a train on a bike. This mission is infamous for its difficulty, especially back in the day.
All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
I and High / American Dream. This entry refers to two missions from GTA 4 that seem like cut content, but from what I can gather, these being cut content was just a hoax, and they were actually just alternate names for a delivery and taxi mission, respectively. Nico Bellic voice actor feud. After the release of GTA 4, Nico's voice actor, Michael Hollick, saw the success of the game and tried to negotiate for more money. He was initially paid $100,000 for his work, and after the game launched, he felt like it didn't match his contribution to the game. This negotiation was unfortunately unsuccessful, which led to Hollick not reprising his role as Nico in the DLC expansions for GTA 4, and likely any future GTA content. Princess Robot Bubblegum. This refers to an anime series featured on TV stations in GTA 4 and 5. In GTA 4, there is one episode viewable that can be found on the CNT television network in the DLCs only. In GTA 5, another episode can be found on the same television network, but only in the enhanced edition of the game. There is also a lot of in-universe controversy around this anime series, which is a pretty cool detail that adds a lot of lore to the world. And with a cool late 20th century anime art style, I definitely recommend checking this one out in-game sometime.
I had lived by myself for many hundreds of years, yet I was prevented from being near children after a bit of a misunderstanding. You'll find a blue square over my house on the internet now, and it's a thing that I can't discuss.
Johnny was gonna have customizable clothing. This refers to the Lost and Damned DLC for GTA 4. And yeah, pretty self-explanatory, there was seemingly planned to be some character customization. Roman Tap Code. Located off the east coast of GTA 5's map, there's a hatch hidden underwater that is kinda difficult to get to, due to it being outside the borders of the map. When approached, a tapping can be heard that sounds eerily familiar to Morse code. Once translated, it reads, "Hey, you never call. How'd you fancy going bowling?" This line is a reference to Roman from GTA 4, who, as mentioned earlier, has a hard-on for going bowling with his cousin. Derek's fate in GTA 5. Derek McReary is one of the McReary brothers supporting Nico in the latter half of GTA 4, and one of the most important characters in the mission 3-Leaf Clover, which is based around robbing the Liberty City Bank. Both McReary brothers survive this mission, and Patrick "Packy" McReary goes on to appear in GTA 5 as a possible crew member found in the world. Packy will mention at some point in GTA 5 that his brother Derek is dead.
You, generic goon! What was your first bank score?
You know what? My first job ain't that interesting. I think I was spotting for my brother's scores in junior high. What is interesting is my biggest job, the Bank of Liberty City.
Ah, shit, yeah. I heard you were part of the crew that took that down.
I ran the crew. It was me, my brother Derek, God rest his soul, my pal Michael, God rest his soul, and another boy, Nico, who's probably dead too.
They're all dead. Must have been jinxed, huh?
Although the cause of death is unspecified, and it would either be after the events of GTA 4 or during the mission Blood Brothers, in which Nico has the option of either killing Derek or his other brother, Francis. Vice City was supposed to be a DLC. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Vice City, which released a year after GTA 3, was supposed to be a DLC for the game. But after working on it and giving it such a distinct style to GTA 3, Rockstar ultimately thought it was too good to just be a DLC, and they released it as its own game. And I'm glad they did, because Vice City definitely does have its own charm to it, and I just love it. I think GTA 6 is going to do Vice City pretty well. Mr. Black. Mr. Black is a mysterious, unseen character in Vice City, who authorities believe is running a hitman business and involved in some money laundering. Naughty man. His only known connection is to Leo Teal, who is killed by Tommy Vercetti during the events of Vice City. But other than that, Mr. Black is completely shrouded in mystery, and maybe in GTA 6, he might make a return. Vinewood Cemetery Zombies. This is a mystery in which players have reported sightings of zombies in the Vinewood Cemetery in San Andreas. Unfortunately, all these sightings have been proven false, but this same cemetery actually has two more mysteries surrounding it, as graffiti saying "Families for Life" can be seen at night that completely vanishes during the day, and people have speculated a grave robber is active and frequently targeting the cemetery due to a desecrated tomb and excavated grave that are present there. And honestly, I think this is a really big missed opportunity for some ghostly ghoul Easter eggs because I'm always a fan of that in GTA. When will the goddamn Mile High Club building be finished? If you explore GTA 5 even a little bit, you'll know that one of the largest towers in the city is still under construction, as it has been for the last 10 years. There's a running joke amongst players that this tower will never be completed, as over a decade of real time has passed, and nothing has changed in any updates or anything. And this is a pretty funny gag, but it would have been cool to see the tower change over the course of time. Or maybe they were planning to actually change it in one of these story mode DLCs that never actually ended up happening. UFOs are 100% completion. This was mentioned back in Layer 1 in the Aliens and Mount Chiliad mysteries, but in GTA 5, you can in fact find UFOs after achieving 100% completion. There are other UFOs that can be found without 100% completion, but the three that this entry refers to are seen above Sandy Shores, Fort Zancudo, and Mount Chiliad. For the Mount Chiliad UFO, it is required that it is 3 a.m. on a stormy night. Thelma and Louise. Thelma and Louise is a 1991 film starring Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis, and it follows two women going on a road trip that devolves into a violent crime spree, and ultimately ends up with the two women driving into the Grand Canyon after being cornered by authorities. An Easter egg to the ending of this film can be found near Raton Canyon in GTA 5. If you ascend a nearby mountain with a helicopter, you can witness a very similar scene play out, with two women driving off a cliff surrounded by police. Humane Labs Green Glow. On the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 versions of GTA 5, the ocean behind Humane Labs has a strange green glow that can be seen at night. Players have speculated that it's the result of toxic waste being pumped into the ocean by the laboratory, but it's more likely just a lighting bug as it's only present on older console versions of the game. Locked rooms in Vanilla Unicorn. This seems to refer to a glitch in GTA 5, which the player can climb through the roof of the Vanilla Unicorn Club and access rooms that are typically inaccessible, like the DJ booth and the bar. Lindsay Lohan lawsuit. Lindsay Lohan, best known for her roles in The Parent Trap, Freaky Friday, and Mean Girls, filed a lawsuit against Rockstar Games during December of 2013. Due to her belief that the side character Lacey Jonas was Rockstar using her image without permission. There are some similarities between the two characters, but I'm not entirely sure it warranted a legal case over it. Either way, the case was dismissed in September of 2016 because of the fictional nature of Grand Theft Auto. Dale. This refers to a couple of Franklin side missions cut from GTA 5, in which Franklin would be tasked by a character named Dale to photograph 10 hot women and send him the photos. Franklin would then discover that Dale was drugging the women, and Dale would then also drug Franklin before attempting to flee and ultimately getting killed by him. I don't believe these were 100% confirmed to be a part of the game, but all this information was extracted from game files for Xbox 360 and the PS3 versions of the game. Penis-shaped lava lamp. Words I never thought I would ever say. Now I'm going to disappoint a few of you here, but I couldn't find a single thing about what this is actually referring to. I did find a Reddit thread about penis-shaped locations in the game, but I felt like diving any further on a Reddit thread about penises would be a perfect excuse for my wife to leave me, so not going to do that. Burger Shot cut out in GTA 5. Burger Shot is a fast food chain featured throughout many GTA games, and it's actually accessible in most of the older games. But in GTA 5, if you want to fill up on some delicious slop, you'll probably know it's not possible as none of the restaurants are actually accessible. It was originally planned for the player to be allowed into these restaurants, but it was ultimately cut from the game for reasons unknown to us peasants. It can be speculated that they probably would have functioned in a nearly identical manner to the predecessors from previous games. Real life Life Invader. Life Invader is a popular form of social media in GTA 5. Founded by Jay Norris, it bears a striking resemblance to real-world Facebook. Interestingly enough, Life Invader was a real social media site created by Rockstar to promote GTA 5. Unfortunately, it was shut down sometime around mid-2024, which is a shame because it would have been a great way to promote the upcoming release of GTA 6. 2000 Beta. I believe this refers to a build of GTA 3 featured in the January 2001 issue of the PlayStation 2 official magazine, which was based in the United Kingdom. This build is speculated to have been from December of 2000, and it definitely stood out as different to the final product. Pedestrians could apparently be seen walking dogs, the day and night cycle was 6 minutes longer, there are mentions of a ferry that could take players across the island, and it was seemingly meant to tie in the first 2 GTA games, with characters returning from the 2D universe who we can assume were eventually cut from the game. Welcome to Hell. Welcome to Hell refers to a billboard in Vice City located in Little Haiti that is meant to say Welcome to Haiti, but has been vandalized to say Welcome to Hell instead, which likely refers to the fact that this place is pretty much a ghetto. The weird thing about this entry is that I can only find information about this billboard on the Polish versions of the wiki, so I don't really know what's up with that. Time Traveler. The Time Traveler is a myth that originated in 2017, first appearing in an investigation by Myth Hunter on YouTube. In the video, the Myth Hunter cited a random car that spawned out of nowhere, driving at an unnatural speed. I'm like 99% sure that this was either a bug or a hoax, but people believed it was an intentional Easter egg reference to the Back to the Future movies.
Oh, this is heavy.
Ratman. Ratman is a rat/human hybrid speculated to inhabit the subway tunnels of Liberty City in GTA 4. It's believed to be hostile to the player and allegedly feast on the homeless living in the tunnels. This myth started from the emergence of an image back in the Xbox 360 days, which depicts the rat abomination. Although, like any good myth, this image is low quality and it's hard to fully make out the figure. But that's still not going to stop me from believing in the Ratman. This does not exist. This refers to a series of boxes found throughout the map in GTA 5 that simply say this does not exist on them. There is a lot of speculation as to what these actually are, and while some argue it's some kind of Easter egg, it's reasonable to believe that it's actually just leftover assets from development, or a cheeky way to say this does not exist because it's a video game. Your choice. Michael and Trevor ships. Apparently people in the GTA community actually ship Michael and Trevor for some reason, and heaps of fan art exist for this concept. Not much else to say about it. It's exactly what it sounds like. People are just... Scrapped MP5. The MP5 is an iconic video game weapon, and it's been featured in almost every GTA game from Vice City to 5. GTA 4's version of the MP5, however, was originally going to be slightly different, as seen in a screenshot from the beta version of the game. This version of the MP5 would have been more what you think of as a MP5, instead of the one that we have in-game, which is modeled after the MP10, which is pretty much just an Americanized version of an MP5. And that kind of sucks, because the regular MP5 is so iconic and looks so goddamn sexy. Leaper's Bridge. Leaper's Bridge is a short bridge found in GTA 4 that seemingly got its name due to the fact people would use the bridge to off themselves. There is dialogue in the game that directly mentions this, but furthermore, players over the years have claimed they witnessed pedestrians jump off this bridge to their death in-game. Kinda creepy.
approaching Leaper's Bridge. Still the record holder for suicides. Well, if you're gonna do it right, huh?
Give me a break.
Darkel. Darkel is an NPC that was cut from GTA 3 back in 2001. God, I'm old. His missions focused on pulling off numerous terrorist attacks to satisfy Darkel's evil motives. He was ultimately cut from the game because he really didn't fit in tonally with the rest of the characters. But this has led people to speculate that he was actually cut due to 9/11, September 11th, 2001. Now, Darkel seemingly has connections to Ratman from GTA 4, and I believe it's because they share similar appearances. But players have also found a random homeless man in GTA 4 that bears his resemblance too, so do with that information what you will. Phantom Files. One of the best ways players find and solve mysteries in video games is by digging through game files to find things like character models, or rumored entities, or audio files from creepy locations. Phantom Files refers to speculation that Rockstar actually renames specific files to make sure they don't stand out, and thus make it more difficult to locate them amongst tens of thousands of other files associated with the game. I don't believe that this has been proven, but it's a good bit of speculation and makes a lot of sense. WhatTheyDoNotWantYouToKnow.com. This entry refers to a website found in GTA 4, which provides the locations of things like stunt jumps and secret weapons. The interesting thing about this website is it seems to have a few references to San Andreas. The person who sends the player the website link goes by Chiliad8888, and the mysterious Chiliad8888 also refers to them as Pilgrim, which is also the name of a district in Las Venturas. Now, I'm not really sure about this one, but Chiliad8888 could potentially be a reference to the Infinity Killer mentioned earlier in the Iceberg. Maybe it all kind of comes together. Alex Mercer. Alex Mercer is the protagonist of the game Prototype, and despite the fact the game released 1 year after GTA 4 and was made by a completely different developer, many people believe that you could find Alex Mercer in GTA 4 because both games feature Manhattan. It likely went this far because people would mod Alex Mercer into the game and claim they found him. This myth is just blatantly false, but I find it pretty funny given the context. You gotta remember, this was a long time ago. People weren't as internet savvy as they are nowadays. People called in sick to get GTA 5. With GTA 5 being one of the best-selling video games ever, it's no surprise that potentially millions of people called in sick from work or school to get their hands on the game on release day. While we don't have an exact number, this is a common trend for most highly anticipated games, and it's more than likely most businesses are going to be short-staffed when GTA 6 launches. I mean, come on, how many of you guys didn't skip school to play GTA or Call of Duty when it came out? I know I did. Being able to kill Lewis in 3-Leaf Clover. The Ballad of Gay Tony opens up with a different perspective of the Bank of Liberty robbery, where the new protagonist, Lewis, witnesses the bank robbery and is held hostage. From Nico's perspective during the mission 3-Leaf Clover, he can actually see Lewis in the bank and kill him, although this is obviously non-canon.
Fucking civilians, man!
Clone glitch. In GTA 5, if you spend enough time in Michael's mansion very early on in the game, you might encounter some paranormal activity. There is a glitch where Michael's family members stand on furniture and start duplicating themselves for some reason. Additionally, random NPCs can be walking in and from the house. Definitely unusual behavior for GTA 5 and kinda creepy. Daz Dillinger cease and desist letter. The rapper Daz Dillinger was allegedly offered $4,000 for the use of his music in GTA 5, but he turned it down, only to have Rockstar use the tracks anyway. This understandably annoyed him, and he sent a cease and desist letter to Rockstar demanding that they recall all unsold copies. And after that, I really couldn't find much of anything. I have no idea how this ended, so if you do know, please let me know in the comments. I'm kinda curious to see if he ever got paid. He kinda deserved it. Unused radios. I believe this entry is referring to the 3 radio stations cut from Grand Theft Auto 3 before release: Liberty FM, Liberty Soul FM, and WLLC The Zone 34.9 FM. These stations cannot be heard in-game, but billboards can still be found throughout Liberty City, which indicates their existence. Shadow Man. In 2016, during an investigation into a separate mystery, a homeless pedestrian was sighted acting unusual in the Avery Towers construction site. During numerous other investigations conducted, the homeless pedestrian was found in the same place. This myth is named the Shadow Man because the homeless pedestrian wears a torn black shirt, and at night, his model may seem like a shadow. People speculate that this is actually the ghost of an unknown man that was killed by Avery Carrington, possibly because this man had incriminating evidence against him. A gun can also be found nearby in the tower, which, as the theory goes, is said to be the same weapon that killed the homeless man. Blueberry Mystery. In Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, there is a mystery surrounding the town of Blueberry in Red County. Throughout the town, there is a bizarre blue glow that appears on buildings and in nature, which players have speculated is caused by the Epsilon cult, due to the close proximity of the cult's rumored main headquarters, and the fact that blue is kind of their whole color scheme. Michael Townley is a real person who assassinated someone. Michael Vernon Townley was born in Iowa in 1942 and would later become known for a notorious assassination plot in South America in 1974. His target was General Carlos Prats, who served as a minister in Salvador Allende's Chilean government. Immediately after the 1973 coup, Prats fled Chile and went to Argentina, where he and his wife would be assassinated on September 30th, 1974 via car bomb, a plot executed by Michael Townley. Townley was later granted a plea deal in 1983 that granted him immunity from prosecution, which is interestingly parallel to Michael Townley in GTA 5 making a deal with FIB agent Dave Norton to start a new life. Grand Theft Auto 64. GTA 64 was a cancelled port of the original Grand Theft Auto game for the Nintendo 64, and there's really not much known about it other than the fact it was ported from PlayStation, and no preview or anything has ever been seen by the public. But I gotta say, that would have made childhood me very happy. Colony Island Killer. The Colony Island Killer is a myth from GTA 4 in which unusual pedestrian behavior and the specific placement of a baseball bat had led players to believe that a mad serial killer is active on the small island. The scariest thing about this myth is that it's believed the killer could be any random pedestrian you see nearby. This is kind of unlikely though, and probably nothing more than a myth, but it's still creepy enough that I believe it. What are the other buildings in North Yankton? I'm not entirely sure if this is referring to something specifically, but all I could find about other buildings in North Yankton were the Ludendorff Beaver and the Pollock Cinema. North Yankton as a whole is subject to heaps of theories and myths, as it's an elusive, mostly inaccessible area which seems to intrigue a lot of players. So naturally, tons of mysteries and theories are gonna spawn. Amanda caused the events of GTA 5. This entry kind of made me laugh, but basically there is an argument that majority of GTA 5's story happened because Amanda, who was Michael's wife, cheated on him with the tennis coach. If that never happened, Michael and Franklin would probably never have pulled down Martin Madroza's house, meaning the jewelry store heist never happened, and thus both Trevor and Steve Haynes would have been unaware of Michael's secret new life. If these two are unaware, Trevor never becomes involved in the story and none of them start working for the FIB and in turn Devin Weston. They would never rob the Union Depository, Trevor might not have killed Johnny Klebitz or gone on his rampage in the Sandy Shores area, and Franklin potentially might not have risen so high in the criminal underworld. Insert coffee emote. Trevor singing the Teddy Bear's Picnic. When switching to Trevor in GTA 5, there's a chance you'll hear him singing The Teddy Bear's Picnic. This song was composed of a melody written by John Walter Bratton in 1907, the lyrics written by Jimmy Kennedy in 1932. The lyrics Trevor sings are, "If you go down to the woods today, you're in for a big surprise," which led to a lot of speculation about a potential mystery hidden in the game back in the early days. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like this was hinting at anything, and it's likely nothing more than a cool Easter egg, but that's not gonna stop me from believing.
If you go down to the woods today, you're in for a big surprise.
Red Dead book. Inside of Franklin's house in GTA 5, on a bookshelf, you can find a book titled Red Dead written by Jay Marston. This is obviously a reference to Red Dead Redemption 1, which was released 3 years prior to GTA 5, and Jay Marston is likely Jack Marston, a major character in the Red Dead Redemption games. People argue that this implies Red Dead and GTA 5 take place in the same universe, and the book is Jack recounting his time with the Vanderlyn gang and the story of his father. But with references in the Red Dead games to real-life New York and California, there are definitely holes in this argument. But it still would be nice to imagine all of the Rockstar IPs are connected somehow. BDevinWeston.com. In GTA 5, if you browse the internet, you can find a website belonging to the main antagonist, Devin Weston, which is basically just his special place on the internet where he brags about his accomplishments. And honestly, reading through this makes the Death Wish ending of this game just so much more satisfying. Dude was mega cringe. Franklin has the most swear words in the game. From just the main story alone, Franklin has over 650 swear words in GTA 5, which is 200 more than Michael, who ranks second, and nearly 300 more than Trevor, who ranks third. Even with side content included, it's likely this doesn't change the ranking. If you're really curious, there's a good 2-hour video, which I will leave in the description, that you can see for yourself. And that honestly surprises me because if you were to ask me who had the most, I would obviously think Trevor. Los Santos is larger than Manhattan. This one is a weird entry as I couldn't find exactly what it was referring to, but I believe it's a reference to the fact that the city of Los Santos alone is nearly the size of GTA 4's map, which, considering that doesn't include the countryside, shows you just how big GTA 5's map actually is. And with the rumors about how big GTA 6 is going to be, you might see another entry very similar to this on a newer Iceberg. Shooting the moon. This refers to an Easter egg from the 3D universe GTA games in which you could shoot the moon with a sniper rifle to change the size of it. This was apparently a leftover script from development, which was used to let the developers easily adjust the size of the moon. And I gotta say, I love it. Michael, Trevor, and Franklin are based on how people play GTA 5. This is a pretty popular statement that says that there are 3 types of players and they are represented by the 3 main characters. Franklin represents players who are newer to the game, still learning the ropes, and want to make it big in their criminal career. Michael is a veteran player who has already beat the game, searching for more to do, trying to find a purpose. And lastly, there's Trevor, the type of player who doesn't really care about beating the game, and mainly wants to jump into the world and cause as much chaos and destruction as humanly possible. I also didn't really find anybody else saying this, but I think Franklin and Michael also represent players who play for driving and shooting respectively, while Trevor is the anarchist who tries to blow up everything he can. And I have a good feeling that in GTA 6 we might see something pretty similar. GTA 5 made $1 billion in just 3 days. As you know, GTA 5 was extremely successful and became the second highest selling game, but you might not be aware of just how quickly it sold. Within 24 hours of release, it made $800 million. Within 3 days, well over $1 billion, which is just so much money considering the game cost about $300 million to make. So it's definitely safe to say that they got a good return on investment. Nico Bellic is a simp. I believe this entry refers to observations about Nico's interactions with specific women in GTA 4. To name a few, he gives Marnie Allen 1,000 because he feels sorry for her, Kate never invites him into her home after dates because she considers them just friends. Carmen Ortiz indicates that she isn't loyal while dating Nico, and Alex Chilton is very open about her adventurous past and gets upset with Nico when she loses against him in activities. If that doesn't spell simp, I don't know what is.
So, good night?
I'm not asking you in. We're friends, nothing more.
Cool. Good night, Kate.
What happened to Roman after GTA 4? What happened to Roman after the events of GTA 4 is disputed amongst the Grand Theft Auto community quite a bit even to this day. But fortunately, some evidence in GTA 5 points towards Roman still being alive as of 2013. The most clear indication is in Michael's house. If you look at Jimmy's laptop, you can't see him checking out Nico's Life Invader page, and on the page, Nico posts birthday wishes to his cousin, likely meaning he is canonically still alive. Or, if you want to take the sad approach, Nico is just commenting on his cousin's page to remember him in some sort of way. GTA 3 is the darkest GTA game. Nearly 25 years after the release of GTA 3, oh my god, it really has been 25 years, I'm so old. Many people regard it as one of the darkest entries in the series. With a lonely, depressing, and very creepy atmosphere, a protagonist that will never say a word, not even after killing dozens of people, and a collection of sick and twisted individuals inhabiting Liberty City. It's no surprise that this game left an impression on most who played it back in the day. Circle of Death. Early on in Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Tommy Vercetti survives a botched drug deal at Viceport docks that results in the death of Victor Vance. Throughout the years, many players have returned to the docks later on in game, and claimed to have seen the ghost of Victor Vance haunting the area. While no legitimate proof of a ghost haunting these docks has surfaced, many players have come across a group of pedestrians gathered around in a circle, seemingly talking to some invisible entity. No one knows for sure whether this is a glitch or if there's some crazy witchcraft stuff going on, but if there's one thing for sure, it's ghost mysteries and Grand Theft Auto go hand in hand. Green Fog. Green fog is a very rare occurrence in San Andreas that can be seen around the countryside in Red and Flint counties, mainly around rivers and lakes. The fog is believed to be caused by toxic waste from nearby chemical plants in the area. There are very few photos and videos that show this strange phenomenon occurring, so not much more is really known about it, and it's still technically an unsolved mystery. What little Jacob was actually saying. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this entry refers to a specific line of dialogue or some mystery, but from my research, it seems that a large portion of GTA 4 players struggled to understand the dialogue of the character Little Jacob due to his thick Jamaican accent.
Alright brother, forward at Dillon Street in Shatla.
Although this isn't necessarily a bad thing, as many players seem to praise this aspect of his character, and to them, it actually elevated the character. It made them like him even more. But that still doesn't mean we can understand him 100%. That is going to be the end of this iceberg. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and learned something new. I know I definitely did. There was a lot of stuff on this list that I honestly just never knew about, and I consider myself a pretty big GTA fan. So if you guys did end up learning something new, what was your guys' favorite thing that you learned? Let me know down there below in the comments, and thank you to my editor Cars. Link to him will be in the description. And that's all I got for you guys. Leave.